Namaste all. My name is Dori and today's class is a yin class. So in yin we're doing these deep stretches that we're holding for a few breaths and even for a few minutes. So we just really need to make sure that we're choosing a version of that stretch that our body is ready for, and it's not about pushing into the deepest version of the pose and then trying to hold it for a few minutes with muscle work. Instead it's about just focusing inwards, finding the version of the pose that works in your body, and then from there, through each exhalation, there is a gentle gradual release, and from there you can progress. So I just invite you to practice with me. Also, in yin we're using a few props because those props allow us to really release into those stretches and not use, full body muscle work to hold ourselves up there. So instead of that, I just invite you to use some props. So we use a yoga bolster, blocks, a strap, and maybe a blanket or a cushion. But of course we are practicing at home and sometimes you don't have these props available. So maybe instead of blocks you can use books, maybe wrapping a towel around those books. You can also use some cushions that you can just wrap them around the blanket instead of a bolster if you don't have a bolster. So you can always work around with those with a bit of a creativity. And also if you'd like to buy some props, we have full stock in the yoga studio, so you can get in touch with our staff and then they'll be happy to organize it for you. So let's just get started. We're starting lying down. So if you have a bolster, you might want to just place it along your spine, and then you can just gently roll down on the bolster, relaxing your head down. If you don't have a bolster, that's all right. Maybe you can use cushions, maybe you can just lie down on the mat. Maybe you can bring the soles of your feet together and gently open your legs, relaxing your legs to the side. If you feel any tension in your groins, in the thighs or hips, you might want to use 2 blocks underneath your thighs to support them. Arms can be just by your side, palms facing up. And let's just close down our eyes if you're safe to do so. And just starting to listen to your breath. Just whatever you've been through during the day, you might feel your mind is really full. So in that case, just accept whatever thoughts are coming in. It's a natural thing of the mind to be full and to have thoughts coming in. So instead of trying to suppress those thoughts, just accept them and gently bring your awareness back to your breath. Starting to feel how your body is breathing, witnessing that gentle movement of your body through each inhalation and exhalation. And you might want to bring your hands up onto your belly, close to the navel. And just starting to feel how your belly is moving through the breath. Gently filling it up with air, just like a bottle with water. Feel that gentle growing as you inhale, and then gentle release as you exhale. Next inhalation, you might want to bring your hands to the sides of your lower rib cage. You can just relax your elbows down on the mat, or you can also hug yourself like that. Relax your shoulders and bring your hand to the sides of the lower rib cage. And now feeling the expansion of the ribs on each inhalation and the gentle contraction on each exhalation. And maybe on the next inhalation, bring your hands up onto the upper chest. And each exhalation, trying to gently feel how your shoulders and chest are expanding. And how they are gently contracting as you exhale. And now bring the right hand back into your belly, keeping the left hand on your chest, doing some full, complete yoga breath. As you inhale, filling up your belly, the rib cage, your chest, as you fill up the lower, the middle and the upper lungs. And as you exhale, releasing through the chest, ribs and belly. And just continuing with this breath, maybe leaving your hands up there, or maybe just relaxing your hands back down. Just listen to this nice, natural flow of your breath. And today's yin yoga class will be focused on the heart space, the heart chakra. It's called the Anahata chakra. And that chakra is related to quite a lot of things, but one of the most important things is to be compassionate with yourself and with others, and practicing loving kindness to everyone around you. Your whole life will benefit from that, but this all starts with acceptance, accepting wherever you are, whoever you are, you're in the right place at this moment. Just accept everything you feel, everything you are. Just be really mindful and respectful to yourself, to your body, and bringing this to your yoga practice, Really be mindful of the poses of your body, of any pain, any tension. When you're ready in your next inhalation, gently closing your legs. Bring your forearms down and use a little bit your arms to push yourself up into a comfortable seated posture. You can maybe sit cross-legged. Just keeping your eyes closed for now, making sure you have your shoulders relaxed. And you can sit nice and tall. Shoulders away from your ears, gently draw your chin in as you lengthen through the crown of your head. Facial muscles relaxed, jaw is released. The pelvis is relaxed. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of warm up before we go into the yin part of the class. So let's just bring the top of our fingertips onto the top of our shoulders. And as we inhale, let's just gently open through the shoulders, through the chest, as we lengthen through the crown. As you exhale, start to bring your elbows quite close together. If they don't touch, that's all right. You can just gently bow your head. Chin comes to chest. As you inhale, opening. Do a bit of a semicircle with your elbows. Bring your elbows together again as you exhale and rounding through the spine. As you inhale, opening, lengthening. One more time. And as you exhale, gently releasing your arms. Now we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. And now we are just bringing our hands onto the left hip. So you can actually just relax your hands onto that left hip bone. And as we inhale, lengthen through the crown and just look down onto that shoulder, making sure that the top of the shoulder is not facing forward. So we want to roll that top of the shoulder back and start to bring that left elbow forward so you can have your arm to be in the same line as your upper body. And if this feels comfortable, you can turn your head to face to the left. Bit of a nice stretch through the neck. And if this feels comfortable, you can look down towards that left elbow and the left armpit. You can also close down your eyes and just really listen to that stretch. But I'm sure you can feel a nice stretch happening across here between your shoulder and your neck. This area is really tight sometimes. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Listening to your body. Three more breaths here if this feels alright. When you've done with the 3 breaths, as you inhale, come back. You might want to shake your arms and your wrists out a little bit. And then we just repeat this on the other side. So inhale, lengthen, interlace your fingers, and now bring your hands over to the right hip. So inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, start to gently pull that right elbow forward and the top of the shoulder backwards to be in the same line. And then when you feel ready, turn your head. And then maybe look down on that right elbow or the right armpit. The lower you look, the bigger the stretch, so you can choose your version. One more breath here. And as you exhale, gently release again, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. As you inhale, you can lift up your shoulders, close your ears. As you exhale, open your mouth and exhale out through your mouth and drop your shoulders. One more time. Great, and before we continue with some more yin, we'll do some other warm-ups. So let's just do some cat and cow poses. We'll just bring our hands underneath our shoulders, bring our knees underneath our hips. You can curl your toes under, or you can maybe point your toes. As you inhale, we're gently opening through the chest. As we exhale, we're rounding your back, bringing your head in between our arms. As you inhale, gentle opening and arching. As you exhale, rounding your spine, tug the tailbone under. Really move nice and slow here. You can fully listen in to your transitions as well, not just the poses. As we roll through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. One more time. And as you exhale, coming down, now just bring your big toes together and the knees apart, and then we're sitting down on our heels. Now we're coming into a child's pose variation, so if you cannot sit down on your heels, you might just want to maybe slide a blanket or a cushion in between your heels and your buttocks. That helps. We're just placing, we're using 2 blocks for this one, and again, if you don't have blocks, you might want to use just books, or maybe if you don't want to use books, then that's alright, you can just go down. It's really good without blocks as well. It will give you a nice stretch as well. So just place those blocks in front of you, and as you exhale, lowering down, keeping your sitting bones nice and grounded, and just bring your elbows into those blocks. You can even turn them to the other side. And then we're just grabbing our opposite elbows. As we relax our forehead down. Now if your forehead doesn't come down, then you again might want to use something underneath, maybe a towel or a blanket. But as you lifted your arms up, just gives you a nice stretch through the shoulders. Feel free to modify the poses I'm doing, just to make sure that it gives you a nice stretch. You can also bring your hands in prayer and just bringing it above your head. Just focusing on our breath, allowing a gentle release to happen through each exhalation. Nice stretch through the shoulders. And taking 3 more breaths here. When you're ready in your next inhalation, gently releasing your arms and gently coming up, removing your props. And from here we are coming up back onto your hands and knees. From here we will be coming into an extended puppy pose. So you have again 2 options. You might want to do the full version by sliding your hands forward as we come down and lower the forehead down. But if this feels a little bit too deep, you might want to use a bolster. Again, if you don't have bolster, you can maybe just use a folded blanket or a few cushions in front of you. And just as we did in the child's pose before, we are just placing our forearms down and then grabbing our opposite elbows. Just place those forearms so that you still have space for your forehead to relax on the bolster. Bringing your knees underneath your hips, and as you exhale, gently release. So this is still a little bit of a deeper stretch now through the shoulders. Gives you a wonderful stretch. So choose a version that works for you. And we're going to hold this for 3 minutes. Remember, through yin, it's really about releasing into those stretches and just using the necessary muscle work, but not more. So if you feel you start to have tension somewhere in your body, that might mean that you need to modify the pose. Anytime you feel your mind wanders, again, don't be impatient with yourself. Just accept those thoughts and gently bring your awareness back to your body and to your breath. You can always witness how is your body breathing, and you can always check how is your body feeling in a pose. Of course, if you feel that some pose is a bit too much, you don't have to hold it for the 3 minutes, so you can always come out earlier. Remember, yoga is always about respecting our body, respecting our mind. There is progression there. And then on the next inhalation, very gently coming out of the pose, rising up, removing any prop you might have hit. And from here we're coming up into a downward facing dog. So just bring your hands in front and then curling your toes under and coming up into a downward dog. Now this is a relaxed type downward dog, so you might want to just step your legs a little wider than hip width apart, bend your knees as deeply as you need to, making sure your neck muscles are relaxed. We don't want tension there, and also that your shoulders are away from your ears. You can also look at your hands, making sure that you don't have too much weight on your wrists, so make sure you spread your fingers nice and wide to equally distribute the weight in your hands. And then just give yourself a little bit of a warm-up, maybe pedaling your heels down through each exhalation. Now from here, on your next inhalation, we're going to bend the left knee, and as we inhale we gently hug the left knee in and then bring it forward into a pigeon pose, so the left knee comes close to the left wrist, and then we just stretch the right leg back. Now you have again different options here. You might, if you want to deepen it, you might want to gently slide that left foot forward to actually increase that angle that you have between your shin and your thigh, and that will increase the stretch in your hamstring and your glutes. If this is too much, if you feel now you're really high up here, this means you need to maybe just sliding that leg back a little. And just look back onto that back leg, making sure that the ankle is not falling out, so trying to keep that leg in one line and in the same line as your hip. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, very gently coming down, maybe coming down in your forearms. You can also relax your forehead, maybe on a block or a cushion. Or you can also interlace your fingers like that and just gently relax your forehead on it. So you have again different options. You can fully go down to this one. You can also slide a blanket or a cushion right underneath that hip. If your hip is not going down, if you feel quite a bit of a tension there, you can just slide it underneath the left hip. And again, just relax. So this is a bit of a deeper stretch now, you might feel. So again, just really be mindful, how is your body feeling? It might be a very gradual process as you allow your body to release into this stretch. And this is a really subtle level, so you can start to listen in. Okay, how are my thighs feeling? How are my hips feeling?
Where do I feel tension in my body? I'm very gently focusing on each of those body parts through each exhalation to release them. And also making sure our breath is nice and continuous. Sometimes we don't even notice that we hold the breath, so gently allowing it to naturally flow. Being in harmony with breath and movement. And the next inhalation, very slowly rising up onto your hands. And then curling your right toes and very gently sliding that leg back either to tabletop, or if you're ready you can go back to downward facing dog. And just to counter pose, you might want to lift that left leg up into three-legged dog and gently open through the hip, bend the knee. Gently stack the left hip over the right so you can really feel that nice counter posing and stretch happening now through the hip flexor. If this is too much, feel free to stay down in downward dog. You can also lift your leg up in an all fours position. As you exhale, gently step that leg back. Just take a pose in downward dog and exhale out through the mouth just to release any tension you might still be holding. And then when you're ready, we're just repeating this on the other side. So as you inhale, bending the right knee, hugging it in, and then bringing it forward. Right knee comes close to the right wrist, left leg stretches back. Now again, finding the version of the pose that you're taking, maybe using something underneath the hip, maybe sliding that right foot a little bit forward to increase the stretch. You can always decrease the stretch as well. Inhale, lengthen, and again just check back with your leg before going down, and as you exhale, coming down, maybe onto your hands, maybe onto a prop of your choice. Moving in harmony with the breath, nice and gradual release happening through the right hip, the right hamstrings and glutes. And just make sure that Wherever your hands or arms are and your shoulders are, make sure that you don't have tension in your arms and shoulders. Even if you're down on your forearms, or even if you're down on your hands like me, making sure that you don't have your shoulders lifted up close to your ears and you don't have tension there. Just release. Facial muscles also relaxed. Gently release all the tension that's happening there. And your next inhalation, gently rising up onto your hands again. Just move nice and slow, remove any prop you used. Curling the left toes and then lifting either directly back up to downward dog or maybe just onto a tabletop position. And if you want to counter pose, then just lift the right leg and gently open through the hip. And when you're ready, as you exhale, gently stepping that leg back into downward dog. Again, take a pause here, exhale out through the mouth. And then we're just going down for a little bit of a break into a version of child's pose again. So for this one, again, you might need a block or something underneath your forehead if your forehead is not touching the floor. So we're trying to keep our legs together, but let's just step them a little wider apart so you won't have pressure on your heart and on your belly, but not too wide apart as the normal child's pose would go here. As we inhale, we lengthen. As we exhale, we very gently start to fold forward, bringing your arms alongside of the body with the palms facing up, and just relaxing your forehead down as you relax your arms as well. Really allowing that release to happen through the shoulders, through the arms. Feel the pull of gravity on those. Fingers also relaxed. And again, anytime if your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath. And never feel bad about it. It's always, again, practicing honesty with ourselves and compassion. And your next inhalation, when you're ready, gently coming up, sitting on your heels, and then going back, coming up down onto the sitting bones. Now we're going to do a seated pose. We're just sliding our legs forward and making sure that we can sit nice and comfortably on the top of our sitting bones, so that you can just test this one. If this is not happening, if you feel you're rather sitting towards the back of your sitting bone, even towards the tailbone like that, this means you might put weight on your low back as we start to fold forward, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep length in our spine, and we're going to keep our whole body nice and healthy. So in that case, you might want to use again a cushion or a blanket and gently slide it underneath your sitting bones to lift your hips up a little higher and give some more space for you and more mobility for your low back. And again, if you maybe have a bolster or some cushions, you can just put them onto your lap or maybe onto your shins, and maybe using a cushion or a block underneath your forehead. So as you inhale, lengthen. And I just need this one. As you inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, and very slowly coming down. Now, if you're using a bolster, making sure that the bolster is not super close to your belly. We don't want to cause, pressure in our belly again, so just make sure you have nice space. You can have your arms alongside of your legs with your palms facing up, and just go again as deep as your body is ready for. You might be able to get a little deeper through each exhalation, but not starting from there if your body is feeling tense. Your legs can be relaxed, toes relaxed, feet relaxed. Through it easy in yoga poses, we can beautifully release the connective tissues in our body. Many times it's not just the muscles that are tense. Sometimes it's the fascia, it's called. This is a big web of connective tissues in our body. And through these passive stretches, we can amazingly release them. We can feel a lot easier. And we can feel a lot more space in our body after a yin yoga class. And your next inhalation, very gently rising up. Yummy. And just removing your props. Maybe give your legs a little massage. And when you're ready, we're moving into a diamond shape now. So bring the soles of our feet together. And then usually when you do normal yoga classes, we have our heels quite close to your body in that butterfly pose. But in that diamond shape, we're just sliding the legs forward. So you have plenty of
space for your legs to gently relax. Now if you feel that your knees are not going down and you feel any tension at either in your thighs and knees or in the inner thighs and groins, you might want to use blocks or some kind of prop that supports your thighs on each side, so you can just again fully release into the stress and not get distracted by any pain you might feeling. So from here again, you might have different options with your props. You might want to just stay up here, or you might want to gently start to fold forward. Again, you might want to support your forehead with a block or two. You can always stack your props up, just make sure that they're stable enough. And you might want to slide your arms underneath your legs if this feels comfortable. Now if you feel that as you do so you start to hunch your back and start to feel tension in your back, then don't do it. Just keep your arms up there. It means your body is not yet ready for that shape yet. You might want to, some people really like to just have their head hanging there, but if that causes any tension in your head, in your neck, then again, just use a block and place it behind your heels, or any other block that you, any other prop you might be having handy. Allowing your arms to feel relaxed. And again, your facial muscles and jaw are released. Your throat is also soft. Just trying to find those parts in your body where you still feel tension. Just relaxing them through each exhalation. Gradually and patiently. Very gently in your next inhalation, coming up. And then again, just remove any props you've been using and then gently sliding your legs behind. And then we're coming up into your hands and knees again. And then we're just walking your knees back and then bending your elbows. We are coming all the way down to the mat. You can just relax your forehead and down on the mat for now. And then maybe again taking a sigh out through the mouth. One more time if you need to do it again. Beautiful. Now from here we're coming up into a Sphinx pose. So as you inhale, starting to gently lengthen through the legs and through the tailbone. We're coming up and bring our forearms forward. So trying to have our elbows about underneath the shoulders. But we're going to stay here again for a few breaths. So if you start to feel any pain or discomfort feeling in your low back, you might need to just gently walk your forearms a little bit forward so you can actually decrease that arch in your low back. And again, sometimes it just feels nice to close your eyes, but in that case you still need to
hold your head up there. So you might again want to just use a block or another prop you might be having handy and just have it underneath your forehead if you need to. Allowing your legs to just feel relaxed, hips relaxed. We use a little bit of muscle work in our arms to hold up our position there. But just make sure you don't have too much weight in your arms and your hands. You're just using the necessary amount of muscles, but not more. We don't want to cause tension in our body. We're creating a lot of space, creating beautiful energy flow as we release a lot of blockages. Of course, anytime if you need to relax your arms down and just relax all the way down to the mat, you can do it. Sphinx is a very good pose to stretch the front body and open your chest. Beautiful back bend. And as you exhale, gently release, bring your arms again alongside of the body, palms are facing up, and maybe just turn your head to one side. You can again allow the top of your shoulders to fall towards the mat, relaxing your forearms and arms, relaxing your head and your facial muscles, relaxing your legs, your ankles, your toes. Taking a little break here. But still allowing the breath to nicely flow. When you're ready in your next inhalation, gently turning your head back to center, and we're coming up into Sphinx again. Now from Sphinx you have the option to stay here, or you might want to come up into seal pose by coming up onto your hands, lifting your elbows up. Now if you feel this is a little bit too much in your lower back, you might just want to walk your hands a little forward. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can just walk your hands closer to your body to lift your step a bit higher up. So you can just choose a version that works for you. So we're going to be staying here for 2 more minutes. And just making sure that you keep the length in your shoulders, and in your neck we don't want to kind of collapse in between our shoulders, even if we try to feel as relaxed as we can. We can still keep the length in our spine and in our shoulders. And gently allowing your hips and the front of your legs to melt towards the floor. If any time you need to lower down to Sphinx instead, feel free to do that.
Starting a communication with your body will always help. If you don't think about poses like, I have to survive for 3 minutes, I have to survive for 2 minutes. Think about it as an opportunity to build communication, start a communication with yourself and your body. And on the next exhalation, lower down in your forearms and then bring your arms again alongside of the body, palms facing up, and this time turn your head to the opposite side. And again, this is a full resting pose. You can allow the whole body to relax towards the floor. And when you're ready, bring your hands a little lower than your shoulders, curling your toes and lifting yourself up into an all fours position. And then from here, we're going to roll back on the spine. Just have your props handy if you have few, because we're going to use them again. If you're rolling down to your spine, just make sure you have enough space behind you. You can bring your arms in front and bring your palms to face towards each other. As you exhale, you can roll down vertebrae by vertebrae to your spine. And just to counterpose the previous one, you might want to just hug your knees. You might want to rock side to side, but sometimes it also feels nice just take the still version of the pose. You don't even have to use muscle work to pull your legs closer to your chest. Just allow that gentle pull of gravity to gently pull your arms down. And at the same time, your knees will come gently closer to your chest. Take one more breath here. And as you exhale, releasing your legs. Now again, on the next one, you have different options. We're going to do a supported shoulder stand. So you might want to do, instead of that, if you feel, you can also do Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall. So you can just gently crawl close to a wall and just put your legs against the wall and gently relax your arms down beside your body. This can feel really nice. If you want a bit of an extra support, if you have a bolster, a cushion or a block or some kind of prop that you can use, just gently slide it underneath your sacrum, underneath your hip. If you're using a bit of a harder edge type of prop, maybe if you're using a block, you definitely don't want to put it against your low back. Just put it down lower a little bit to the same line as your sacrum, so you don't want to push the low back yet. And when you're ready, on your next inhalation, bend your knees, and then one by one you can lengthen your legs up. Making sure that you don't have to point your toes, you don't have to have a lot of strength in your legs, just allowing your legs just to gently hang up there. And you can have your arms alongside of the body, palms facing up. You can also slide them higher, so the higher you slide your arms, the bigger the bit of a chest opening will be, so you'll feel what feels nicer on your shoulders and on your chest for you. And when you're there, just close down your eyes. Allowing your fingers to just be naturally curled. No tension in your shoulders and neck, making sure you don't have too much weight on your upper body. Relax your facial muscles. Maybe take again a deeper inhalation and just sigh out. Then coming back to the natural pace of your breath when you're ready.
Being upside down has a lot of benefits. It helps the energy flow in your body. It helps clearing out blockages. It helps your blood circulation. It helps your digestion as well. On your next exhalation, gently bending your knees, you can hug them close to your chest, and as you exhale, gently we're stretching the right leg back on the mat, so this creates a bit of a stretch through the right hip flexor. Now you can also do it without a prop, so if you start feeling discomfort in your lower back, then you might just want to remove the block or remove the prop you're using and just do it on the floor. It will give you still a nice stretch. And usually when we do more active type of yoga poses, we start to gently still but pull that left leg closer to our body. And instead, in this yin version, just interlock your fingers on top of your shin, on top of the left shin. And just allow your arms and shoulders to relax. And a gentle release to happen through both legs. So you can start to feel that eventually and gradually that left leg is coming closer to your chest, but we are not using any active muscle work to pull it closer. It's so nice to be in harmony with these nice slow stretches and really allow the time and space for our body to move and open up for the stretch. As we slow down, we also activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the relaxation response. So we can get away from stress for an hour of yin yoga. And be beautifully mindful, more self-aware, and a lot more calm and in peace. As you inhale, gently release, and as you exhale now, stretch the left leg back on the mat and start hugging the right knee in. Again, just allow the natural release to happen through each exhalation. And as you exhale, gently release. Now coming up onto your feet. Bring the soles down, bending your knees, and gently removing your prop and just rolling down vertebrae to your spine. And you can gently roll up. And then we're bringing our prop, even if you're using a bolster, or if you're not using a bolster, you can maybe just roll up a blanket or roll up 2 blankets together, because we're going to place it so that it will be right underneath the chest. So just gently rolling down onto that prop. And very gently we are relaxing your head down. Now, if that doesn't feel right, you need support for your head. You might use a cushion or a folded blanket underneath your head, especially if you had past injuries in your neck. And gently, to give it a bit of more chest opening, we can bring our arms up. We can maybe even slide our arms higher. Palms are facing up, whichever feels nice. This is a supported fish pose. Just feeling our legs to be relaxed, and feel the back of your legs, your glutes, how they are pressing towards the floor just gently. And feel your mid-back gently pressing and melting down towards your prop. Your whole body is nice and relaxed. Your abdomen is also relaxed. You're just breathing naturally. Just very gently coming back and just lowering your arms down and bending your knees so you can support yourself up, and just remove that prop that you used. Just put it to the side. We're coming into a comfortable seated posture. Before Shavasana, we're going to do a pranayama technique, a breathing technique. And this class was focusing on the heart chakra and the heart space and the compassion. We're going to do a heart calming type of breathing technique. So, and this one really nicely focus on a naturally flowing breath, and focus on the exhalation to be nice and slow, maybe a tiny bit slower than each inhalation. So we're going to start together,
And then we can just all do it in our own breathing rhythm, trying to gradually slow it down. You can also close your eyes once you've got the sequence so that you can just practice it on your own and listen fully inwards. So we're starting with the right arm, bringing the right arm up into that L shape as we inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bring that right arm, bringing it across and bringing that right hand quite close to the left shoulder. But we are not touching the left shoulder, so it's a very gentle, very nice movement. This is through the exhalation. Through the inhalation, open your arm again, back to center. And as you exhale, gently releasing that arm down. And once you're ready, continuing on the left side, lifting the left arm up, making sure your shoulders are away from your ears and you don't have weight on them as you do this practice. And then bringing that right hand over and close to that left shoulder. Feeling that nurturing movement. Inhaling back. Exhaling, release. Let's just continue it now in silence. Nice and slow movement in harmony with the breath. We're going to finish on the left side, so next time you're doing your left arm, then gently come back to center. Feel free to finish off your round, take your time. Gently releasing your arms. And from here we're coming into Shavasana, so try to move as softly as you can. We don't want to disturb the stillness you created for yourself. We are just gently rolling down to your spine. Maybe you want to do a little bit of twists before we go into Shavasana, so for that you can come up onto the soles of your feet. Bending your knees and lifting your hips up, bringing them over to the right side of the mat and just relaxing your legs over to the left. Bring your arms in a cactus shape and just bring your head over to the right side or turning your head to the right. When you're ready in your next inhalation, come back. And lift your hips up again and then place them over to the left side of the mat. And now bring your knees over to the right. Maybe turn your head over to the left.
If that feels comfortable on your neck, just taking 2 more breaths here. As you inhale, come back. If you need to, you can hug your knees again and maybe rock side to side before we go into a relaxation. And when you're ready, gently releasing your legs back on the mat. Maybe you can use a bolster, sliding it right underneath your knees so you can support your low back like that. And just bring your arms alongside of your body in a comfortable distance away from your body. Palms are facing up. Closing down your eyes. And just focus on the breath. If you need to sigh out, feel free to do that a few times to release any tension you might still be holding. Just sighing it all out. And just coming back to the natural flow of your breath. Gently allowing the whole body to starting to feel relaxed. Releasing through the legs, through the hips. Relax your abdominal muscles and the muscles of your back. Relax your shoulders. Relaxing your arms and your neck. And the throat is soft. Your jaw is released. Release your facial muscles. And just feel that your eyes are nice and heavy. And that your head is nice and heavy on the mat. Just starting to feel heaviness spreading across your whole body. You can fully release now. And if you feel that your mind is wandering, again, just accept any thoughts that are coming in. And gently bring your awareness back to your breath. You can also imagine yourself sitting at the bank of a stream. You're watching that stream flow. And in that stream you can just watch your thoughts flowing. Just like a movie screen. You can step back from your mind and from your thoughts and just watch and witness. Becoming the silent witness of your mind. You can come back to this technique anytime you feel that your mind wanders. And gently releasing into stillness. very slowly, starting to bring your awareness back to your breath. Just gradually deepening your breath each time as you inhale. And starting to be aware of any sounds you can hear. Starting to be aware of the space around you and the surface underneath your body. And starting to be aware of your body again, maybe. Starting to move a little to any direction that feels nice, wiggling your toes and fingers or rolling them. And then maybe you can hug your knees and rock side to side to massage your low back. But just move in any direction that feels nice. Maybe stretching your legs back and your arms up. And as you exhale, gently turning to your right side. And just stay there for a breath or two. And when you're ready, gently use your hands to push yourself up into a comfortable seated posture. Just moving nice and slow. And just keeping your eyes closed. And just to finish off today's practice, we'll be doing some mantra meditation. So today we'll be doing Gauranga. So I'll just start and then you can join me whenever you'd like. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Let's do 3 more. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And the last one. Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. Just coming back to your silent breath. And then we can now rub our palms together. Once you feel they're warm enough, you can just blaze into your closed eyes. Maybe just repeat to make them even hotter this time. And as you exhale, gently bringing your hands down and bring them in prayer in front of the heart space. And just feeling the gratitude for our practice, we bow our heads and say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste.